Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Select Board meeting for the Town of Limington for April 10th. We will call the meeting to order at 7:01 and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, we will call for a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes for last week. You make a motion?
I make a motion to approve last week's meetings.
All right, and I second that motion. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, the approval of warrants for week 15. Payroll warrant number 28 for $41,355.14. And the appropriations warrant number 29, $50,597.17, for a total of warrant 28 and 29, $91,952.31.
I make a motion to approve payroll warrant 28 and appropriations warrant number 29.
Okay, I will second that. A breakdown of some of these expenses for you is a Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $6,096.45. UniFirst uniform, $68.71. Consolidated Communications, $45.65. Matheson Tri-Gas Oxygen, $775.93. Pine Tree Waste for the porta potty, $160. Treasurer, State of Maine. Dispatch fees, thank you. $5,417.25. And Eco Maine, $13,678.63. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Thank you very much. David, do you want to read the PO request,
Sure.
please?
PO order requests for Public Works. A request to pay Carroll Materials Cold Patch for $192.60. A request to pay Napa $4,897.09. A request to pay Superior Lock and Key $1,187. A request to pay Eastern Salt $10,391.83. I'll make a motion to pay Public Works purchase orders.
I will second that. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Fire and EMS, a request to pay Boundtree EMS for $1,947.32. A request to pay Luke Alexander reimbursement for boots, $200. A request to pay Palmer Springs, $830.09. A request to pay Teddy Plumley for a conference, $50. A request to pay Town of Sebago NFPA class, $100. A request to pay Vector Solutions for 7 members, $475.79. A request to pay Warren's Office Supplies, $53.95. And a request to pay Crystal Morale for medical evaluations, $1,760.
Very good. I make a motion that we accept these fire and EMS purchase orders.
I will second that.
All in favor? Okay. We met with Chief Braley this afternoon. Had a good talk with him. He has, and I didn't bring everything with me either. I apologize. I left all those notes there in the office. No, thank you very much, Nikki. I'll remember everything.
He came in.
Yeah, why don't you tell me?
Met with Chief Braley today. We went over a draft for their full-time staff members.
Yes, thank you.
So that we can have the full-time staff established with their own policy. It'll be in line with the fire department. Will supersede the town's policy just because of the nature of the fire department itself. We will be going through this over the week and speaking with Jason. Hopefully next Thursday we'll have a vote on the policy for the full-time staff. so that we can get that approved for them and they can move forward. The other thing we spoke with Chief Braley about is a proposal for the town, how it's going to be structured once our town manager is approved and hired, and how we can work public works into public safety or public services. And then what was the last thing? Oh, I think it was just another HR issue, so.
Yeah, he was talking about going through some of the issues that we needed to address from an audit that we
Yes,
had.
oh, we had the audit,
Yeah.
yeah, the Bureau of Labor audit, so we talked about some things they need to fix, some things have already been fixed. I think there's only a couple things left
to do.
fix that, so we can be compliant with Bureau of Labor for both Public Works and the fire department.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yes. We have not gotten, we don't have an update this week for the CEO. Actually, we did get a brief update for Public Works this week. They had been up to the library and cleaned gutters out this week. There was a plugged culvert on Joe Joy Road, thanks to persistent beavers. They cleaned that out, and there's a beaver dam at the meadow that they've been watching and releasing some of that water and trying to break that up slowly so they don't overdo it. And they will be out doing tree work next week. They're
Covering
getting
tree.
the mulching head ready and the excavator, and they'll be out with that next week. So more to follow on that. The weather looks pretty good for that next week, so they'll be out and about trimming trees. Just a reminder that the subscriptions for the rescue are out. Please fill that out and bring it in. It's very inexpensive. I try to plug this every year when those cards come out to fill them in and bring them back, because your insurance does not cover 100% a ride to the hospital in the fire department. So this EMS subscription for like 10 or 15 bucks per head in your family takes care of that for you. It's a lot cheaper than trying to pay a ride in the big red box.
It's a fun ride.
I can tell you right now, it's $1,700
$1,700.
for a ride in.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even realize it was that much.
It depends on the provider's
The provider's
service.
care, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did they send them out the cards?
yes. Yeah, in an envelope, with it says fire and EMS on it, big blue writing, Limington EMS.
The card itself
So,
is yellow.
yes,
so.
if you don't have one, pick one up here, grab
I
one.
haven't got the mail in a couple of days, so.
Yeah.
I have to post it.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
out, because I know that I've been to the post office and seen them in the trash. Very, very sad to see them in the trash and not used. So please, very, very worth your while
Yeah.
to fill that out and bring it in.
Even if it's $25 to $30, it's well worth it.
Yes, it is. It's well
I
worth
pay
it.
$60 for my household just so my roommates can go to the hospital if they need to. So if their insurance doesn't cover it all.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
well worth the investment.
Um,
Jason's not here.
I know he's not.
I wasn't here last week and Jason's here not this
Yeah,
week, so.
yeah, so we miss him. He's out gallivanting around, taking a few days off. But we were here Tuesday night. We interviewed 3 candidates for the town manager position. And, we were here until after 9.
You're here a while.
Yeah, so, got some very good candidates. We will be doing a second interview. We'll be here Monday afternoon, starting at 3 with second rounds. Yeah, more to come on that one. So, yeah,
I think that's it, other than the weekly one, the fire
that'd be
EMS
great.
weekly.
Yeah, would you please?
Yep, so the weekly fire EMS report for the week ending April 5th of 2025. Thanks, Chief Braley, he's the one who got to us this week.
Other people are busy.
Yes. Number of calls for service this week, we had 8. Month to date is 8, because of the new month. Year to date, 185. So those consisted of 3 fire calls and 5 EMS calls. Fire EMS department schedule was complete for the week. Trainings for the week in-house. Thursday night, the officers had a meeting to discuss changes needed with the truck checks and other items. Away trainings and meetings. Wednesday night, members attended a building construction class hosted by the Hollis Fire and Rescue Department. Maintenance conducted or needed for the week. Both ambulances went to the shop Monday and Tuesday for alignments. The fire department spent 462.75 hours for the week. And then special notes, we ended March 10 calls ahead of last year for the month of March. Month to date, we are 32 calls behind last April. Year to date, we are 14 calls behind last year. The reasons they're stating are for such a drastic change in the year-to-date and month-to-date numbers is due to the April 2024 storm that generated 29 calls in 24 hours.
Ah, yes.
So we need a good storm to catch up.
No, please. We're trying to get out of winter.
I know.
And at least we don't have hurricanes,
Yeah.
tornadoes and all that good
We could.
stuff. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it for what happened in-house, because I was late getting here anyway, so thank you for manning this.
I spent most of the morning signing some stuff.
Thank you so much. That's right. So we will open it up now to the public, if the public has anything to say. Yes,
Yes,
Donna?
Joyce.
Would you please stand up at the mic?
It's just a quick question.
Yes,
Quite
ma'am.
all right.
I thought you went over it very quickly, and I wondered if I caught it right. You're going to combine Public Works? Did I hear that right?
So there was a proposal made to bring Public Works up with Public Safety and combine the two because it was considered that both Public Works and Public Safety were a public safety. So,
We're talking about it, Donna.
Yeah, it's just
Nothing's been determined yet. It's
Yeah.
just,
That seems like a good logical move.
yeah.
Okay, and then.
So it's just a proposal, so we don't jump into things.
Yeah.
So it's going to be debated and voted on so that the public and ourselves, when Jason returns.
So you'll, like, bring it up at a future select board meeting?
yes.
Correct.
Okay, I listened very closely last week at home of the meeting here. I'm still unclear about the town manager. Could you give you said something about it, I thought just now, but I didn't even get it. You're going to have more interviews? You had some last week, or this week?
A couple of weeks ago, Donna, we had 2.
Well, the process, Donna,
Yeah.
so MMA, the town put out applications, requesting applications for a town manager because we've changed our governments. So MMA did the initial interviews with people coming in, kind of weeding out, kind of like a headhunter type of thing. Then he presented those to the town for us to start doing initial interviews to see if we wanted to bring people back for second interviews. With the second interview, we're inviting the department heads, Patty, the elected officials. I believe they asked the chairs for each committee.
I believe.
Okay,
I believe
is that
so.
what's taking place this coming week?
Yes.
coming
There'll be
Monday.
an email tomorrow,
Yeah.
because we hadn't got the times set yet for the second interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So we wanna
MMA is
get that
our
lined
liaison
up
to
by the
our
time- yeah.
candidates. Yeah.
By the time I got here and read emails and things, it was, okay. So now we're going to be sending out invitations to the department heads for them to come and listen to the candidates, right? And if there's a question, to be asked, or, there'll be more questions asked.
Yeah, so we're going to allow the department heads and the elected officials like Patty and our chairs from the committees
This
ask
is
a
not
few
going to be
questions.
broadcast.
It's not, no.
No,
Okay, so it's like the department heads get to meet some of these and like,
correct.
Yeah.
okay.
Potential,
The reason behind it
This
is
is gonna be
because this
their boss.
potentially could be their boss.
yes.
So So we're allowing them to ask questions. We'll allow them to present themselves, up to 15 minutes, present themselves to them, and then take some questions.
I thought you said there was gonna be a public meeting where we could like meet them in this room or something. Did I get that wrong?
Well, we haven't chosen anyone yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's after the fact,
Oh,
Donna.
it will be the final candidate you will
Yeah.
present to us out here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you don't know when that'll be?
Not at
No.
all.
Okay.
We had talked about having like the town in the background during the second one. MMA didn't think that was a good idea,
No, I
so,
don't think so.
Right.
yeah.
No, a little too overwhelming for a
Yeah.
candidate or two.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donna, very much, because that gets a lot.
I hope I
more-
explained that okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a process, like,
You went over
Yeah.
it so quickly when you just mentioned it. I thought,
yeah, a lot of emails back out to Larry at MMA, and then we wait for him, and then we send emails back, and yeah.
I'm
No, but thank you, Donna, that's
But
great.
As
Those
of
are
right
great
now, it's
questions.
Monday, and then the times we've set with Larry will be emailed out to the candidates.
Yeah.
And when you make your final decision, the public will be able to meet them.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
yes.
When do you expect
There's
this
gonna be a
person
party.
on board?
We don't know yet.
I
We
think,
don't
I think
really-
it depends on the candidate, because some people
yes.
can start immediately, some people have to, want to give their notice if they're chosen.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's unclear
then-
to us, depending
yeah.
on the candidate.
so,
Is that voted on?
the town manager?
Oh, yes.
The town manager is appointed. So
By
we've,
who?
by the town,
Yeah, we hire
Yeah.
them and, yeah.
Yeah. So the town voted for a town manager type of government, so we're moving towards that now. So,
And really, the explanation of a town manager type government is, they're like the HR, they're the operations side of it.
they're gonna run the
They
operational
run
side
the
of the.
operations, they go over the budgets, and they deal with issues within departments, right? We set policy. We're gonna be
Yeah.
able to set back and write policy and do our thing, which the town manager will implement.
Yeah.
So,
They'll be the face of the town, they'll be here 40 hours a week. You'll have somebody that the town can come to and speak to on a daily basis, so.
Is that anybody, or does that have to, somebody be in town? Do they have to be somebody in town, that lives in town?
The town manager is not required to live in town. We've had applicants all the way out to Arizona.
I didn't
Yeah.
know, that's why I asked.
right,
Yeah.
right. No, but they will be available to the townspeople.
Yeah, if they're given the position, normally they'll move towards the town. They're not gonna run our town from Arizona or from another state, so, so,
A remote,
You know.
remote manager,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, they sign in and they watch us.
yeah.
So say,
We're actually building a house, I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah,
People will listen.
Yeah, Mark, if you want to talk.
That's mine.
Huh?
That's mine.
I'm just trying to, I don't know.
Well,
So if townspeople have an issue, that's who they would actually talk to?
they would go
Or would they
to,
come to you?
No, they would
You
go
know,
to the
like-
town manager.
Years-
Yeah.
Years past, we'd come to you guys.
Yes, if we were in office all day long, sitting there, yes, the townspeople, we have an open door, right? But that's the town manager's job, Mark. That will be his or her, position, because they are the face, like David said, they're the face
Yeah.
of the town of Limington, right?
They will.
And they're, they're here
There's a lot of job
40 hours,
requirements.
so.
They'll be here
you
full-time.
guys are only here,
6 hours a week, so.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and then the town manager will report to the select board. We will give them their running orders, and then they'll run.
They'll be here
Yeah,
for the meetings,
yeah,
Got you.
so they'll be a face
Sounds
here.
like a pretty good idea, really.
yeah.
It's very difficult for a select board in this day and age to run the town.
Right.
We can't email each other, we can't do any business, we cannot conduct business outside of hours that are published, 2 to 8, Thursdays. We come in and we have a lot of work to do. I mean, we separately do work behind the scenes,
Yeah.
right? We all have things to do to work on, right? And so we come back in here, and that's why things take a little bit longer to do,
Right.
is because now that we've done our little preliminary work at home, we all come in and we start talking about what we've done and what our opinions are, and what are we gonna do, and how are we gonna vote, and, right? We talk about everything when we finally get here. And a town manager is gonna be able to say, this is happening today, you know, purchase orders are coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're just signing them on Thursdays. And then they can buy stuff, where that's gonna be different, right? I mean, things will be different. So, and smoother,
Right.
and work a little more efficiently. So that's what we're looking forward to, really looking forward to. There's a lot of things that haven't been done.
Hope you can get somebody that can work with everybody together.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the point. That's why everybody's gonna meet them, to make sure that they are
that's
cohesive.
qualifications.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. We hear you.
Sounds good.
Even though the people outside the mics can't. I think they'll get the gist of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right. Anything else?
I have a question for her, actually.
Okay.
We can wait till after.
Okay, all right.
That's fine.
Off camera.
There is no, oh, hey, you know what? We're not done yet.
Okay.
We have, you know, the normal weekly rundown of announcements here. Does anybody out there know when the select board meets? We'll make this Jeopardy.
You have to answer it as a question.
Yeah.
What is?
What is Thursday?
Yeah, select board office hours are Thursday, 2 to 8. The on-air meeting is Thursdays at 7 PM. Transfer station hours are Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4, and Wednesday, 12 to 4. A transfer sticker must be attached to your vehicle windshield for the disposal of all items. Transfer station stickers are available at the town office for $20. No sticker is required to use the swap shop. The transfer station does not accept brush, yard clippings, or hazardous waste. Riverside Recycling in Portland does take hazardous waste. At this point, I will say that we've gotten an email from Steve Kelly, who was our
Eco Maine.
face on the board there, and we look forward to having him come and talk at some point to help build up our recycling
Program.
percentage. We have always been the bottom of the barrel of the recycling towns at Eco Maine, and so we're just trying to brainstorm and find ways to make it easier for the residents to recycle and to increase that recycling rate. So we're open to any, you know, suggestions. Steve has some. We've done things in the past that have worked for a while, but then they kind of peter out. So if anybody has any questions on how to recycle, you know, help us, you know, find things. I don't know, you know, like one thing, I know that in Portland there is like this food waste thing, right, that makes compost, right?
Oh, where you put your food into a bucket and they pick 'em
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and somebody goes around and picks that up.
They do that in my home state too.
So, I mean, things like that. And do they work? It's a lot of work for probably little payback, right? But just trying to get more recycling done would be a big help. So, anyway, enough of that. So we look forward to hearing from Steve at some point. General assistance applications are available from the Select Board office during their normal business hours. Applications must be filled out and accompanied with supporting documentation and must be signed and returned to the GA Administrator or Town Clerk office. And the Planning Board meets at the municipal office, the municipal complex, the first and third Monday evenings at 7 PM. Does that mean that there is a Planning Board meeting coming up?
No, we don't have any current applications in.
Okay,
There are some that we know when they're coming in, and I believe the next meeting will be the first Monday in May.
the first Monday.
First Monday in May.
Right, yes, because next week is a holiday?
Oh, there's a holiday there.
Is there a holiday somewhere?
We don't have any. sort
Okay,
of-
but you haven't anything on the agenda?
No.
Okay, so Planning Board meeting in May.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Donna. Shaving Hill Road. I'll say that for you.
What she said that
Okay, if there's no other input from the crowd, we will entertain a motion You want to ask now, Mark, or after we adjourn?
No, sure, that's fine.
Want to now?
Yeah.
Stand up. Thank you.
The tax assessor.
Mm-hmm.
You said he may come this week, or he may be next week.
Right. He came last
He
week,
came last
Mark,
week and
so
talked to you guys when I was
I
gone.
think he'll be here, maybe not next week. I think he said a third week from now. What would that put us at? First Thursday in May?
Calendar.
Which tax assessor is he speaking of?
Yeah, which tax assessor?
Oh,
'Cause
he's
there's two-
talking about the new,
The property taxes?
The reevaluation.
The
yeah.
reevaluation, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw Mark at the store the other day. So today's the 10th, not next week, so probably the 24th, he'll be here. And actually, you know, he's got to meet with the front office too at some point, and said that, you know, he could be here a little bit later because, you know, the office on Thursdays doesn't open until 6.
Right.
So we could either ask Patty to come in earlier, or Mike would come later. Would you like me to talk with him on his next trip and get the date, time for you?
Yeah, see what I wanna do, I wanna put up a garage, but I wanna know what it's gonna cost me a year to do it, cause if it's too much, I ain't gonna. It's- My taxes are through the roof now, so, which everybody else's is too, so.
Right, and yeah, because you're afraid that it's going to increase your tax value
And I-
even
and I
more.
live in the woods, practically.
Yeah, yep, okay.
And that's
That
why-
might be a question that he could easily speak to you on, right?
That's why I would like to.
Okay.
you know, At least talk to him, see if he can give me a, kind of an idea.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a good lead-in too, Mark, for a reminder also, because typically I'll go over my notes from past weeks and I'll say, well, we need to say this again,
Yep.
right? And so O'Donnell will be starting going around, home to home,
Right.
measuring. They'll have plenty of signage, they have shirts that say who they are, that we will be putting out notices to let people know that they have started, but I think he said July
I think so.
that they would be starting.
Yeah.
So they want to get all the assessing that they can done between July and November.
I'll
So,
be busy.
yes, yeah, they want to get it done before the bad weather starts.
Right.
Right? So, and like he said, they don't know, based on how many, whatever they're doing in their business, right? We'll either have like a couple of people do a lot of hours, or they'll do a lot of people.
At least
with
at a minimum of at least 2 people.
with a few hours per week, right?
Right.
So, but they will get it done. So, they'll be out and about pretty quick anyway, but yeah, I'll let you know, I'll contact him.
I figured if I could get ahead of it, I could talk with him.
Yep, maybe you could be the very first place he comes to see.
Anyways.
Maybe not him.
I-
It'll be one of his guys.
No, I'm sure somebody else is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
but great question, Mark, thank you. I'll let you know
Okay, thank you
as soon
very
as I
much.
hear from him. Thank you. Okay. You all set?
I'm all set.
All right. Make a motion?
I will make an emotion to adjourn.
I will second that motion to adjourn. All in favor? We are adjourned at 7:30.